look who decided to come back for more. You gluttons for punishment must really love watching us wrestle with metal. Today, after letting our 2 canisters nap in the oven overnight like tired toddlers, it's time for the grand unwrapping. Spoiler alert, it's messy, loud, involves a grinder. Robert kicks things off by attacking his canister with a 4.5-inch grinder like it owes him money, slicing a neat line down the side. Then comes the fun part, hammering and prying at it like he's trying to crack open a metal piñata, all in the name of freeing the glorious steel billet inside. Here's the kicker. Thanks to our genius combo of white target paint and galvanized tubing, the canister didn't stick to the billet during forging. Science wins again. Grab your popcorn and enjoy the chaos as we unveil the fruits of our labor. Don't forget to subscribe so you can keep cheering us on or laughing at us, as this forging journey is far from over.
Voila. Your turn. You're going to want to clamp it on the flat sides and then just cut through the chin. Hey. Might be able to cut this way. I'd cut this way.
Ever wonder how fast a 4.5-inch cutting disc can disappear? Well, wonder no more, because you're about to find out. Spoiler alert, it's faster than a hot knife through butter and way less satisfying. Watch as Kevin turns his poor, unsuspecting cutting disc into a rapidly shrinking donut while slicing into the canister like a madman on a mission. Between sparks flying and the grinder screeching, see just how quickly these discs go from brand new to what disc. It's a beautiful, chaotic dance of destruction, all in the name of freeing that stubborn steel billet. Consider this your official crash course in how not to conserve tools. Stick around. It's messy, it's loud, and it's oddly satisfying. Hey, if you've got a stack of cutting discs lying around, this might just be your next favorite hobby. Subscribe now because the chaos is just getting started.
That happened because you was pushing hard and you had it at an angle binding it. So it just ate it through. Yeah, you can't push hard or get it at bind, and only use
Robert made quick work of removing his canister. Just a few minutes of grinding, hammering, and voila. Kevin, on the other hand, is taking his sweet time. Hey, that's the difference between experience and figuring it out as you go. He did a great job treating the inside of his canister to keep it from sticking to the steel billet. So props for that. But remember when I told him in part 1 to stop smashing the canister back into the billet? Yeah, well, now he's learning the hard way why that was a bad idea. He managed to pinch a section of the canister into the billet at the end, making the removal process a whole lot trickier. Here's a pro tip. When you're nearing the end of pressing a canister, just smash it like you're in a rage. Work it back and forth to create a little gap between the canister and the billet. Trust me, your future self will thank you. Hey, forging is all about learning. Sometimes a little frustration. Got questions about the process? Drop them in the comments and I'll make sure to answer. Once the steel billets finally break free from their canister prisons, cue dramatic music, it's time for a close-up inspection. This is the part where we channel our inner perfectionists, because any tiny flaw could cause big problems down the line. Armed with a grinder and zero patience for imperfections, Robert meticulously grinds away any suspect spots, ensuring the billets are ready for the next steps.
gotta be careful not to shove it off the end too. You want to pick it up on the bad end.
Wouldn't this be my bad end?
Yep. And again, gentle. That's good. Shut the door. Not with your hand. Use the tongs. I wouldn't grab that in next time.
Oh, yeah. I've got to become more aware here.
You'll figure it out once you grab a hot piece of steel and melt the glove into your hand.
Yeah.
The sweet, soothing sound of a 25-ton press hydraulic pump, whining like it's auditioning for a horror movie soundtrack. Don't worry, though. This is the part where we do your ears a favor and turn the volume way down. Now let me step in and walk you through what's happening. Robert and Kevin are pulling the billets from the forge, where they've been soaking at just the right temperature, glowing a gorgeous red and flirting with orange. Why all the precise heat control? It's all about reducing the nasty scaling that forms on the outside of the billets. Less scaling means a much cleaner forging process. More importantly, less grain growth inside the billet. Translation? Stronger, better-looking steel in the end. With everything prepped and glowing, it's time for the press to do what it does best. Squish metal like a boss. Stick around because things are heating up, literally. And the results are going to be worth it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more forging adventures. Kicking things off with the large flat dies on the press, partly to give Kevin a fighting chance as it's his first time using the press, partly to avoid squishing the billet into oblivion. It's all about control here, folks. A few careful passes help keep the billet in check while Kevin gets a feel for the mighty 25-ton beast. Once the billet is behaving, Kevin's confidence is up. It's time to swap to the squaring dies. These bad boys ensure the billet is perfectly square, maintains an even size along its entire length. It's precision work, but hey, you don't want a lopsided billet ruining your next blade masterpiece, right? With the billet squared up and ready to roll, we're primed for the next stage in its evolution. The billet's now squared up and looking sharp. It's time to switch gears. The squaring dies are swapped back out for the large flat dies once again. And here's where things get interesting. The plan? Give these billets a light twist. But first, we need to transform that square shape into an octagon. Why the octagon, you ask? Well, it's all about reducing inclusions during the twisting process. The more uniform the shape, the fewer pesky flaws or weak spots show up in the final product. Plus, it helps minimize waste, because no one likes turning good steel into scrap. That said, results may vary, because forging is equal parts science, art, and occasionally a little chaos. With everything prepped and ready, it's time to see if these billets play nice during the twist. Stick around to see the magic, maybe a little trial and error.
my damn gloves. I don't remember taking them off over here.
See, that's why you need one spot for everything.
Oh shit, I'm old and I ain't ever gonna do that.
Lucky for you, we spared you the comedy reel of Robert losing his gloves. The dozenth time. Trust us, it's a saga all on its own. Instead, we figured you'd get more enjoyment out of watching him wrestle with an 1.5-inch chunk of steel like he's trying to twist a particularly stubborn pretzel. The goal here? A dozen solid twists to mix up the pattern nicely. We're not shooting for a twisted Damascus look, just enough to give it some character without going overboard. Easier said than done when you're manhandling hot steel. But hey, nobody said forging was glamorous. Watch as Robert breaks a sweat and proves once again that brute force, determination, and maybe a little stubbornness are all part of the forging process. Don't forget to cheer him on in the comments, because this isn't just crafting steel, it's crafting pure entertainment.
Hard stuck in the belly when you're straining that much. An 1.5 piece of steel is hard to twist. Come here. I put it in there like this because it has plenty of twist in the middle section and it always ends up that way. So by sticking it in with just the end in it, that end will twist more than the rest of it.
Okay. All right.
It's the best way to even the twist out. You can also leave it in there and put a blowtorch on it with 2 people, but we're working independently so you can do your own.
Do you think mine's ready to twist?
You can try it.
Do you think it's ready though?
As long as it's a dark or a bright orange, it looks like it is. Tell you, shit's no joke.
You know, the end that's facing out, I think is the end that I want to get smashed.
You're going to twist now.
Yeah, but I want to turn the billet around.
Yeah, you want the good end at the, well, you're going to be spinning it both directions.
Well, I know, but my other end is already more flat, more square.
That's fine. Put it in.
So,
for the clamp?
Yeah.
All right, spin it around. Those things you got to decide before you put it in there for sure. many times I gotta explain to you, just put the end in. You got enough twist in the middle, so you gotta just heat up the end.
Yeah. Lick that. No? You don't wanna?
You're heating up the wrong end too. This
Am I?
is the end needs to be heated.
All right.
Pay attention to the twist.
What do you mean? I'm heating up the wrong end. This is the end that gets smashed.
There ain't very much twist in that end, so you got to flip it around and only heat that end and let this end cool so that you can pinch that in there and twist
What
more.
if that end ends up being my tang anyway?
Doesn't matter, because your tang, it doesn't need all that steel. You want to try to get as much of it evenly twisted as possible. You don't know that that end's going to end up your tang or your pommel or something like that. But I do know you've lost an inch of steel already just because you keep flattening the shit out of it.
What do you mean?
With the press. Look at mine, I didn't lose hardly any.
Yeah.
My ends are still square. But you're smashing yours down instead of just going to where it touches and just a little bit more.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
I know I'm not wrong.
But after I did it, it was already done. And that was the first time it went in there to twist.
I told you that the first time you put it in there.
I
not to
know.
smash that. You just smashed it that much the last time.
It's been about that.
No, I got it, it's on video.
Pull up the video.
It smashed the fuck out of it last time.
The first time.
And the first time.
Yeah.
But the first time was the worst, last time was the worst time.
Yeah, but after the first time, was there any saving it?
Yeah. Because it wasn't smashed that much.
All right.
And you're still not paying attention where the goddamn cameras are.
Edit it. Maybe you should put the camera in a different spot. How about like right here?
Maybe you should learn where the fucking camera is. It's one camera.
I know, that's the problem. It's one camera.
Yeah.
If you had multiple, it wouldn't even be a problem.
You don't need multiple. We got multiple. One moves around. Fucking millennials.
You watch out or I'll touch you with some hot tongs.
Yeah.
I would never.
Let's see how that goes for you. I think mine's already heated.
I think I need some
See what I was
water.
talking about? The thinner it gets, the faster the heat back up.
Yeah.
Hey, you got steel in the forge! Just like millennials, running off when they should be working. Your steel's burning! You better be taking a dump. You're about to lose your knife. You're burning your steel.
I took a leak and grabbed the water.
You're burning your steel. You're about to have even less steel.
want gloves.
Need to hurry up. Hold it, hold it.
Just the right number of twists in the bar. It's time to flatten it out to the proper width for the knife. Robert's aim here is to go a bit larger than the final size he's expecting. Now I can hear you thinking, why doesn't he just forge it to shape? Great question, audience. Here's the deal. This is a Damascus knife, and while Robert used to hammer them into shape, he's learned a thing or two along the way. Grinding the knife to shape, rather than forging it perfectly, creates a much more appealing and active Damascus pattern. It's all about showcasing the beauty of the steel, something you just can't get if you hammer in every curve and line. Plus, this approach adds a little insurance. Imperfections on the surface get ground away, rather than locked in forever. That said, some things, like the tip, almost always get hammered in. As you can see, Robert's doing just that because, hey, some parts of forging are just better done by hand. Stick around to watch the transformation from twisted bar to the beginnings of a blade. Don't forget to subscribe for more Damascus making tips and tricks.
Flip it over. See the gap there? Flip it flatter on that side. Always go by the top. There you go.
The billet now flattened to the proper thickness, the tip hammered in, and the tang pressed to perfection. It's time to move on to the next crucial steps, surface grinding and shaping the knife. First up is surface grinding, where Kevin cleans up the billet to remove any remaining scale or imperfections from the forging process. This not only smooths things out, but also reveals the stunning Damascus pattern starting to take shape beneath the surface. Once everything is nice and even, it's time to lay out the design. Using precise measurements and a keen eye, Robert marks the pattern of the knife onto the billet. From there, it's all about grinding to shape, carefully sculpting the steel into its final form. This step is where the magic really happens, as the knife begins to transform from a rough piece of steel to something that looks like a blade. With everything now rough ground and starting to look like a proper blade, it's time to head to the oven for normalization, a critical step in the knife-making process. But what exactly is normalizing? And why does it matter? Normalization is the process of heating the steel to a specific temperature, just above its critical point, then allowing it to cool down slowly in still air. This step is all about refining the grain structure of the steel, which can become distorted and uneven during forging and grinding. By normalizing, we're essentially resetting the internal structure, aligning the grains evenly throughout the blade. Why does this strengthen the knife? Simple. The uniform grain structure means the steel is tougher, more resilient, and less likely to crack or warp during later stages, like heat treating or use. It also makes the steel easier to work with and ensures that the Damascus pattern remains crisp and eye-catching. This step might not look flashy, but it's absolutely essential to creating a strong, durable blade. So, as the blade cools and settles, it's one more step closer to becoming a masterpiece. Stick around for the next phase. Well, that's a wrap for part 2 of this build. We've twisted, flattened, hammered, and normalized our way through some serious progress on this Damascus knife. But the journey's far from over. Next time, we'll jump straight into the exciting and nerve-wracking quench. Finish grinding the blade to perfection and crafting a stunning handle and guard to complete this masterpiece. Until then, keep those fires burning, hammers swinging. Thanks for following along, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more adventures from the Forge.